Hey everybody, Logan here. Today, yeah, I finally got it. I know I'm a little late to the party on this one, but I was finally able to pick it up with all these other controllers that have come out. It just wasn't, a high priority on my list, but it was one I definitely wanted to cover, and that is the GAMESIR G7 SE. Why? Because this is, I guess you could call it one of the more value-focused controllers with Hall effect joysticks. So at any given time you can pick this up for around $44 on Amazon. Average going price is $49, but majority of the time I've checked, even when I bought it, it was $44. So that's more of a value price. Isn't that crazy? These days, compared to a lot of the other controllers that are coming out that have Hall effect, such as the new Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, which goes for around $200. There are a number of other controllers out there that do have Hall effect, but these are ones that are actually licensed and rather popular. So I decided to pick this one up, check it out. I have a couple of other controllers in the pipeline before the end of the year, but this one I definitely wanted to cover now because you can still get it for a rather decent price. So this is the GAMESIR G7 SE. Like I said, it's a wired controller for the Xbox, and we're going to take a closer look at the box. We're going to unbox it, of course, and then test it out and just see how it feels. Now, when it comes to Hall effect joysticks, you really don't feel the difference right away. It's basically how they're built, and to see whether or not it feels good right away, it's worth using. But over the course of time, supposedly they don't drift. I haven't had any issues with any of my Hall effect controllers, so that's always a good thing. And if you guys remember, the Dreamcast had them too, and how many people you ever heard have drifting with a Dreamcast controller? But with that being said, let's open this up, let's take a look. Hopefully it's worth that $44. Whee! Oh no! Oh, that box is a little slickery. Yeah, I said slickery. So, as you can see, GAMESIR with the big chicken, and I found out why. It does include 1 month of Game Pass, but this is for new members only. I'm glad they decided to specify this on the box because a lot of people were asking, and other controllers, such as former releases that I've covered, like the PDP ones. But it is officially licensed, so you don't have to worry about this not working with your Xbox anymore. So let's take a look at the side. Wired plug and play, 3.5mm audio jack, microphone mute button, detachable 3 meter USB-C cable. I think that's around 6 feet. Hall effect sensing sticks, available at all the information is available there. So you got mapping sticks, triggers, vibration, and that's the console that's developed for. That's actually bothering me because I don't know metric system. I'm an America, and we don't use it, so I'm trying to think. Isn't it like, maybe that's 9 feet? I don't know. So if we look at the back, Hall effect 3D joysticks, anti-friction glide rings, 2 quick latch back buttons. Not sure what that means. I think that's the little switch under there is what makes it the quick latch. Textured grips, Hall effect analog triggers and vibrations, responsive membrane buttons. So let's take a look. This one you actually don't need a knife. It just has a little thing you pull up right here, which is kind of nifty. So let's open this up. I did have it just in case. And sorry if you guys hear anything in the background. The Lawnmower Man. Remember that movie? Wow, I'm making a lot of movie references lately. Is mowing the lawn, so it's pretty loud out there. Oh, it's got a braided cable. That's actually a nice way to package. Pretty simplistic. It's a box inside of a box. Alright, that's pretty tight in there. Giggity. Wow, that's actually in there pretty good. Pretty good, nice like. I don't want to tear this thing. It's gonna come out. Yeah, I'm gonna end up tearing the box, somewhat, sorta, kinda. Oh, pull to open box. Did you guys see that? Pull to open box. You can just go. There you go. That's actually a nice controller. Ooh, just by the look and the feel, I'd put this on par with 8-Bit Do. It almost feels like identical to 8-Bit Do. Looks a lot like it. It has that show that feels like it, but it isn't quite. Okay. One thing that I think is rather funny, I mentioned it in the intro, GAMESIR has a chicken logo. You guys notice that? It's a chicken logo? Well, it's because the company is Guangzhou Chicken Run Network Technology. Chicken Run Network. Just thought that was funny. Alrighty. Out of the box, it's a very comfortable controller. Fits nice in the hand. Buttons aren't loud and clacky. You can see the anti-friction right there. So that should be... We're going to take a look, but I think that's going to be your audio mute button. And it also maps controls there, which I always hated. I was not a big fan of mapping those controls to the D-pad. Oh, no, there it is. There's your mute button. So, okay, these are locks. So I guess you can turn them on and turn them off for R. It says R3 and R4. Okay, yeah. It locks them so you can't press them at all by accident. That is cool. Then it unlocks them. I like that. Kind of superfluous, but I like that. Okay, that's a nifty little feature I haven't seen in any other controller. And you guys know I've covered a ton of controllers on this channel. I like the look. Okay. Sleek. Standard. Not too flashy. The sticks, they give this cheap look, but they actually feel pretty nice. If we take a look at the cable, I actually like that. Normally I'm not a big fan of the braided cables, but it's Type-C, so yeah, I'm thinking this is around 9 or 10 feet. It does have their little name on this thing. Most of the time I end up throwing those things away. But I like it, and it has their fiery chicken right there. So that's a nice little Type-C cable. Now if we take a look at the little instruction packlet, because that's a word. I feel like Jay now. Drunk 3PO making up words. Okay. Tear it open. Arr. Do not fight me. Do not fight me. Okay. So you've got a sticker. Is that the booklet or the sticker? I think this is a little booklet. It's like a thank you thing. There's the chicken sticker. There's the Xbox Game Pass code. Okay, good. So it's covered up. Ha 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 ha. Official. Alright. One thing I do want to take a look at is what do you do to map it? I always like taking a look at these because you might think you got it, but you don't. Quick latch. That's the quick latch. Requirements, device layout. That's not in English. Connect. Back button settings. Okay. No preset button values. Mappable buttons. Set the R4. Hold M plus R4. Okay, so it is M plus R4, L4 buttons simultaneously for 3 seconds and then press the one you want. Okay, so that's pretty much just like every other mappable controller. I just wanted to make sure. So you hold this and the button in the back and then press whatever face or trigger button you want mapped to it. So it's identical to every other major controller out there that doesn't have anything crazy or use an app. So you just hold the map button and your back button, whichever one you want, and then hit A or hit B or hit R, and then you get your map buttons. So that's pretty cool. Does it have macro? Let me see. Is it macro as well? No. No, it's just individual. Okay. So there is GAMESIR Nexus software. We're going to take a look to see if there's an app on Xbox or if it's just PC. Alright. So that being said, now we've got this all underway. It's time to test this bad boy. All right, so here we go. We've got the app booted up, and it is for GAMESIR. So when you're going into your Xbox, you just type in GAMESIR, boom, pops up, download it. Pretty simple app. First things first, you're going to plug it in your controller, boot up the app. This is the screen you're going to see, and it says at the top G7SE. And it's going to show your controller right in the center. You got your profiles, you got your vibrates, and you got your updates. Make sure you update your controller right away. My controller firmware was at 6.20 and it updates to 6.25. It also makes you go through a little calibration once you do that as well, so that's always a good way to do it. And as you can see, it just goes here. We can set up the profiles by clicking on it, default, profile 1, and configure. So you can basically do everything you want here, program it here without using the program button, which I think is nice. It's always easier to do it through an app instead of going okay, but this allows you to do it on the fly. I understand. I like using an app over holding multiple buttons at the same time and then hoping it works. So I just think it's a little easier like that. So that's your mapping feature. You've got your stick, so you can see, and you can even swap. Okay, that's pretty cool. You can swap your left stick and your D-pad, or you can D-pad diagonal lock. Okay, that's interesting as well. You can even change the range. That's pretty cool. I do like all those extra features, things that I normally don't do anything with because I'm a standard functionality guy on my standard functionality controllers. Now, when it comes to controllers like the E-Swap or the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, then I start getting into it, especially with the Elite Series 2. Those controllers I've bought specifically with non-standard default settings in mind. So you got your triggers, and it even shows you can swap to hair triggers. Let's see what that feels like. Oh, instant. So it's a digital hair trigger and not a physical hair trigger. That's pretty cool. Okay, and then you can adjust your vibration. So these do have vibrations within the triggers as well, which I always think is cool. Try trigger vibration, try trigger grip. So if we do force right trigger vibration. Okay, that's standard. All right, then that just caused the controller to vibrate. I understand why that works sometimes. I had an issue with an 8-bit Do controller where one of them I don't think was vibrating, but then I had to play a certain game and I could tell. And then once I figured it out, the vibration motor was loose. And it was causing a weird rattle noise after that. And I was like, okay, there's a problem there. So something like this, you can, instead of having to deal with going into a game and, booting it all up, you just go to the app and just one button, and then you can feel test. That's what I think it's for. Hey, it might be for other reasons, just to make sure all the motors work. But I think that's pretty cool. Now, with the app portion out of the way, let's test it on... Of course you know what game I'm gonna test it on. It's Exoprimal. Now this controller feels good already. I can tell you that. It feels nice in the hand. But like I said, we're playing Exoprimal as what I always test on because it's my best game when it comes to testing out these controllers. Okay, it feels nice. Do I dare say? No, I don't, because it would be a lie. The Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, yes, it feels much more high quality. But we're talking about a $200 controller compared to a $44 controller. Now, One thing that some people might have asked throughout the video to themselves, whether you are one of those or not, does this compare to the 8-bit Do? Now, it feels almost identical. But the 8-bit Do ones do not have Hall effect as of this time. They might come out. They might come out with one in the future. But as of right now, the feel of these two controllers are very, very similar between this one and 8-bit Do. If you want something that has Hall effect, this is one of your least expensive options. But remember, it is wired. There are other wireless options out there, especially for the Nintendo Switch right now. But for Xbox and PC, officially licensed by Microsoft, this might be your best bet in terms of just sheer value for a Hall effect controller. I like it. I think it's a nice looking controller. It feels good. Quality wise, it seems to be pretty solid. I don't see or feel anything that's going to cause it to break rather easily. I do like the anti-friction. I think the plain white is fine with the gray caps and the teal anti-friction slip whatever rings. I think it's a nice color design. Very simple, very clean. Some people will say, hey, but white gets dirty easily. Yes, it does. That's the only thing I can say about it. I would recommend it. I like it so far. The only thing we can say about the Hall effect is long term. But as of right now, right out of the box, testing, it feels nice. I will compare it to the 8-bit Do Ultimate Wired controller. And that's really what it feels like to me. It feels very similar. Movement is pretty snappy. I don't feel any input delay. The programming of the back buttons is pretty simple. Download the app. Everything's right at your fingertips. You can do the audio adjusting, which it's simply just the mute button, and then you can play with the audio on the D-pad, which is one of the things, like I said, I don't like when they do that. But hey, some people do. I just say use it on your headset. But otherwise, everything else just kind of feels all right. So nothing. They don't have overly clacky buttons. Yeah. I think this is a solid controller. I would say keep an eye on it if you do want it. Go for the $44 price. Don't jump at it if it's $49, because like I said, it's $44 pretty much all the time. So there you go. All right. I think this is a solid controller, definitely for the price. If you want something inexpensive that just handles well, has awesome versatility with the app, programmability, and a Hall effect for $44.99, $49.99, $44.99 on Amazon. So there you go. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. I will answer as many as I can. Now, one thing I will say, a lot of people do ask me, how are these controllers that I test over a long period of time? I can't really answer that. I test and use so many controllers, especially with these companies now sending me more to review. It gets harder to use them for long periods of time, so I can use them for about a week or so until I pick up a new controller or decide to use another controller. But we're going to end this by saying, what are my go-to ones? Well, my go-to ones up until before recording this, I've been using the Turtle Beach Stealth Pro quite a bit since I've gotten it. I do like my Elite Series 2. And in terms of wired controllers, 8-bit Do, Ultimate Wired, the Hyperkin Xenon, the red one, the one that looks like an Xbox 360 controller, and then the PowerA, the Advantage controller. I think those are all my pretty much go-to controllers depending on where I am. I have 3 Xboxes that I go between. One in my game room, here in my office, and then in my living room, depending on what I'm playing. I have different options and controllers. I think when it comes to a game like this, Exoprimal or even RoboCop, I'm really enjoying the high-end Turtle Beach Stealth Pro. But if I had to pick a wired one, it's really hard. Any of those will definitely do, especially in a pinch. So it all depends on how much you want to spend. I think for the value right now, if you don't worry about Hall effect, I like the PowerA Advantage. So check out that one. If you can get the 8-bit Duo on sale, I would say do that one. And now I would recommend throwing this one into the mix, the GAMESIR G7 SE. Hopefully that helped. Thank you guys so much for staying to this point in the video. You guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video, turn that bell on for notifications, so you know whenever I put out any new content, which is daily, except for Sundays. But yes, thank you guys so much. Subscribe. Make sure you tune into our podcast, Ready to Start podcast, every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.